Hello, Elin Grönblom is with us in a Black Night Film Festival TV studio. Hello.
Hello.
And we talk about the film Ella and Friends Operation Otter. It's actually based on a children's book or series of children's book. Tell me about it a little bit and how did you find the book?
Well, it was actually the producer that contacted me with the project already, so that was nice. So they had actually chosen the book because there's like 40 books going back 30 years, and they chose this book. But I think the theme of the book is very relevant today, and then there was also with nature as a big theme. So we also saw that as an opportunity to have I wouldn't say easier locations, but less locations maybe as well. Like a lot of it takes place like in the forest. So those things like attracted us.
And we had Q&A before, and one kid asked, like, where did the forest locate? And you said it was near the city, but I really believed it. So very clever find.
Yeah. No, yes. And then I must shout out to the cinematographer who did an amazing job of making some of the places, if you look behind you, there was like houses there, but it's still, she made it also look like we're in the middle of this magical forest where there's nothing but some animals.
I really loved it, loved the fact about it that kids are a lot in screens today, using phones, using iPads, computers, and in this film, it wasn't like it was like the good old days. Kids were playing actually outside. They were camping. They were reading books, and maybe the parents was a little bit surprised that kids don't want to use phones. And was that like intentional, or it's coming from the history of the books? Because back then, when they are written, they didn't have technology that much, or
I must say I don't remember now when this book was written. I think it's a bit more recent one, but because we worked with the book and then with the script so much, of course we did a lot with the script that's not from the book. But I think also as a filmmaker, it's either you use actively as a storytelling device the phones and stuff, or it's nice to just get rid of them and not use them at all. So we saw this as an opportunity also to kind of not involve them in the story, because if they're there, you have to kind of use them. So you kind of just want to get them out of the way. And then, of course, with the screenwriter, we wanted to kind of flip it on the side that it's the parents that are kind of panicked that there's no Wi-Fi, and how like attached we are to our screens and everything. And the kids sort of they get used to it pretty quickly, I think. Also in real life, I think they would get used to it maybe much more quicker than adults might if you take it away from them.
so there were like main group of kids. It was 7 kids, right?
Yeah.
And you said that you had to cast a lot of kids before you found those 7 very different characters that worked so nicely as a group of friends. So tell us about the casting process of this film.
Yeah, well, I think because it's the name of the books is Ella and Friends, so it's important that it's Ella and her friends. So I really wanted to have this feeling of them being a group of friends, and you want to kind of be friends with them. So then it was important to find like 7 kids that are kind of look a bit like the characters from the book, or like feel like the characters from the book, but also that you don't like, oh, I forgot who was who, because they all have blonde hair and blue eyes or whatever. Yeah. So in that sense, we casted, I think in the first application there was always over 1,000 applicants, and I think I watched maybe 200 self-tape videos, and then from there we just kind of narrowed it down until we had like maybe 3 or 4 per character, and then just tested them as a group to see how the group dynamic worked and how they all kind of stand out in their own character and in their own way.
And there was one very special character, Otter.
Yeah.
And you said that you did, the Otter was never on set, on an actual set. Tell us, how did you use the Otter, and where does he actually live, or she?
Well, I think first of all, it was important for us, since we're telling a story about nature, that we also show that we're not there becoming friends with an otter and, you know, it becomes like a dog, like they should stay in nature. But obviously we can't find there are wild otters in Finland, but very hard to find. So we found a zoo in Finland, Ähtäri, where there's 2 otters, male and a female, and went there to have a look. And actually my idea was to kind of just use good old movie magic with a point of view and what they see. And we were lucky that the otter's own like kind of area resembled the place we were going to shoot. Like the nature looked the same. So then we just took the camera there and tried to get them to show up on camera and tried to get as many shots that we could with them just doing what otters do. We didn't get everything we wanted, but enough to sort of hopefully give the illusion that the otters are there in the forest with them.
So you said producer found you because you're actually known as a TV series director for kids and youth, but that was your first feature film. How was that different for you?
Bigger in the sense that it's, you know, a sort of a dream come true for me to make my first feature film. So in that sense, it was bigger and I wouldn't say more pressure, but like felt like a step up in that way. But then the actual directing, I would say, is pretty much the same. How you direct the kids and so on. And then you work maybe with bigger talent because it's in a movie, so you get a bit bigger talent, things like that. And then, of course, especially with the cinematographer that I've worked with also on many of my TV series, we talked a lot about like just, you know, it's going on the big screen, like just using that as well, using the opportunity to actually shoot it in a slightly different way because it's going up on a big screen and really trying to capture nature and the feeling of nature and the beauty like of it and then create this kind of magical forest feeling.
Tell us about the length of the process when you started to work with the project and now it's in cinemas and today is also Estonian premiere. How long was it?
Well, I actually think the first email I got from the producer was in December 2022. So then the discussions started. And then I was working a lot with the screenwriter with the script. And then we shot it last summer, so summer of 24, and finished it this year's January. But then we waited for the premiere because kids' movies have their certain premiere. It's Christmas holiday or winter holiday or fall holiday, so our slot became fall holiday. So it was a bit of a wait. The movie was done, but we still had to wait some time for it to actual premiere in Finland.
And also, if it's kids' film and you do the casting process, you need to start shooting quite soon because otherwise the kids will change so much over the time.
Yeah.
But what would you like the kids or youth or who are watching this film take with them from the movie theater?
Well, I mean, for me, it's important that it's a movie that can still be watched by the whole family. So I like to put in a lot of humor for adults as well, so that everybody gets something entertaining for them. So I usually try to think what is, as you said, what is the feeling when the end credits roll? What do you want to feel? I'm hoping that it's this kind of like satisfied, a little like happy feeling that you kind of was soaked into that world and then you leave with good feeling.
And the kids took some very important matters in their hands. Actually, they didn't wait that only adults will solve everything for them. I really like that. Was that something that was important to you to show as well?
And it's also part of Timo Parvela, the writer of the books. He has a lot of that humor as well, that the kids are kind of the competent ones. And you hear that on the reactions of the kid audience as well. They like that adults don't always know the best. They're a bit silly sometimes.
So you were actually sitting in a movie theater with the kids watching the film today. What made you? Was it like what kind of experience it is to see the reaction did the reaction come in a like right place for like in director's like sense, or how was it?
Yeah, it's funny because I've seen it also in Germany with a German audience, and then in Finland at the premiere. You notice also maybe the cultural differences of how much noise you make when you're watching a movie. You don't always know. I think it's the great thing with festivals is that you meet the audience afterwards, and then they're all excited. So even if they don't always laugh or react so much that you expected, they still really enjoyed it afterwards. So you kind of sit and look a little bit. Are they sitting still? Are they still watching? What are they laughing at? But it's very different from country to country and audience to audience.
And I saw that the film has already won some awards or getting noticed.
Mm-hmm.
So I hope this journey continues the same way, that I think there are so many films in the world. If somebody noticed your subject, your film, it's always really nice. So I really wish luck to you with this film.
Thank you.
Thank you.